Hello, I'm Derek, and today I'd like to talk about cooperation in participatory performance. I'm going to use two shows, Asses Masses and This is the Story of the Child Ruled by Fear, to demonstrate how goal-based performance fosters communal intimacy through shared accomplishment and support. When I think about examples of intimacy in participatory theater, my first thoughts go to moments of encounter between performers and audiences. For me, it connotes a sense of meaningful connection, which historically I've experienced through performances utilizing physical closeness as a bonding agent. To illustrate what I mean, consider The Garden of Adrian, staged in 2009. Performer Adrian Howells invites a single audience member to join him in exploring a garden built inside a church. With consent, physical acts of intimacy are common, including embracing, cuddling, hand-holding, and sharing food. This image shows Howells with some of those participants. As you can see, there's a big focus on physical touch here. However, as we face the implications of current, post, and future isolation in response to this pandemic, I believe that acts of physical intimacy will continue to be replaced by a need for communal intimacy. I see this as a feeling of connected togetherness which participatory theater facilitates by casting us as teammates. I'm sure many know what it's like to be on a team, and the bonds fostered through working together and sharing in victory and defeat. This is cooperative dramaturgical structures in action. Let's turn to Asses Masses, an ongoing episodic video game performance. The show requires a single player to leave their seat and take control of a donkey avatar to carry out a labor revolution. It seems like it might be antithetical to communal intimacy, with the focus placed on a sole figure whose back faces the audience. However, in my viewing, audience members took turns playing the game. For me, it was a reminder of a rapidly disappearing time when friends would gather in a basement to play Mario, rotating out the single player to experience the game together. Shouted suggestions, cheers, and exasperated sighs were shared by all. The show is structured such that the creators never appear. The lights go up on center stage where a controller awaits the input of a player. The audience is then left to play through the game at their own pace. In the absence of any guide, we are forced to rely on one another to complete the story. A 2022 study from Hong and others found that virtual sports games foster intimacy within families by offering chances to ask for help and provide support. I propose that this game functions similarly, as the single player was continuously supported by the crowd through consistent suggestions and encouragement. In my viewing, there was a particularly challenging level which the player was struggling to get through. Their frustration, and perhaps embarrassment, became apparent. The audience responded by providing words of affirmation, which seemed to resonate. This moment culminated in a heartwarming cheer when the obstacle was eventually overcome. I see Asses Masses as an example of an emotional intimacy incubator. The theater is not just a container here, it is a crucible. With a lack of external support, moments of defeat and victory are earned as a group, which forges bonds of fellowship through the shared experience of those highs and lows. While games often provide natural goals for cooperation, these same principles can translate to other forms. Consider Strange Victories, This is the Story of the Child Ruled by Fear, which asks audience members to take a place on stage in a theatrical table read. The show discusses fear while asking participants to overcome it by reading aloud. Each participant has an individual role, but they also rotate for reading for the child ruled by fear, using a prescribed high-pitched voice for their lines. In this way, the character becomes a shared responsibility, just as we may share anxiety in our position. The only way to overcome fear and perform the role is together. Audiences are primed for the performance with a note sent in advance, saying, quote, "For this idea to work, 7 of you need to take a leap of faith. Each table needs a person at it who is willing to read some lines out loud. It's fun, and it's easy. I promise. It's okay if you feel nervous. I feel nervous too." End quote. This note makes the cooperative structure transparent, highlighting the need for 7 participants to join the team to make the show work. It also provides emotional support by acknowledging the potential anxiety of public speaking and sympathizing with this feeling. It was a gesture of care which made the process feel more accessible for me. Despite the show's description promising an imaginary story, the details which emerge hint at an autobiographical connection to our guide, David. Perhaps this explains the nerves he shared in his note. Perhaps not. Regardless, the raw vulnerability of the story connects all of us as we embody it as a team of storytellers. Afterwards, I was compelled to thank David for including me in this. He gave me a smile and suggested I use his email, which he plugged in the show as a bookend. This gesture of connectivity post-performance builds on the foundation of intimacy established, promising the possibility for growing the community. Cooperation facilitates communal intimacy through two primary factors: support and shared experience. As these shows demonstrate, these factors can be encouraged by providing a goal for the audience to achieve, a goal which demands collaboration and places emphasis on the need for community. The exciting possibility of collaboration as a source of intimacy is that it needn't rely on physical proximity. As we continue to navigate what it means to be together in this isolated age, I believe cooperative structures help us relearn how to socialize, trust, and emotionally connect with people outside of our bubble. Participating in live performance can be an intimidating prospect for many, which I completely understand. However, if we focus on these ways of fostering intimacy through cooperative structures, I believe we will create a welcoming community space for audiences to overcome their fear and play and be together. Thank you.